do not be the cocky person that thinks you don't need anybody, because that's not true. You will need people, especially if you have that attitude, because people want to make good things, but they want to make good things on a good team.
Greetings, Columbus. It's Wilman. Welcome to another episode of Columbus GEMZ. This channel is for young people in Greater Columbus who are aspiring designers and technologists. This episode, we're featuring Mark Fitzpatrick, who is a 3D artist out of Merion Village. Enjoy.
My name is Mark Fitzpatrick. I'm a local 3D artist in Columbus, Ohio. I went to CCAD, focused on media studies at the time, and that has entirely shifted. So 3D animation, game design, I'm definitely more focused on real-time rendering and real-time applications, so using Unity, the Unreal Engine. So that's where my focus is now, especially in VR. So with the VR medium, once that came out, that just totally changed my paradigm on what I wanted to do. I wasn't a big video game player. Once I got into school, I stopped playing video games because I knew I needed to focus on what I loved doing. So once VR came back out, that got me really focused again on the interactive media. Because before I was more focused on animation. So, every frame took hours upon hours to render. But now, just the way that VR and cinema can merge together into a new medium is really interesting to me. So, the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and then with the Oculus Quest coming out, it's a really exciting time to be inside of the animation world, right? And it just makes so many more jobs open to every city because everybody's getting into VR. So, you need designers, you need 3D modelers, you need animators. There's so much stuff that you can do in the world. You need storytellers, right? It's just going to be so much more exciting for storytellers to tell stories differently. I think what's really important is knowing that if you want to get into games and VR, that you can't just be good at one thing. You have to be good at multiple things, from storytelling, from modeling, from texturing to lighting, to even a little bit of project management, right? So that's one thing that when you get into school, I feel like in art school, they don't really talk about too much, is the project management side of things. And for you to scale up a project, a small project to a large project, and you really want to take it to a professional level and get funding, you're going to need that project management side. I think it's important for everybody to have a little bit of on the team. There's some really good free tools, like Hack and Plan is a really good free tool that's designed for video games. You go in there, you put your tasks, and you can set when you want that task to be done, and you can hold your team accountable. So also with the accountability is really important too. And just knowing yourself, right? Learning what works for you and being honest about whatever project you're on. One thing that I've always been adamant on when I start a new project, if I know the project is going to crash and burn, like if I know it could, which all projects possibly can, even paid projects, you have to go into it knowing that you're going to get something out of it, right? Say, I want to get better at rendering on this project. I want to get better at modeling an arm on this project, whatever it is, even if it's small little, victories that you have to go into every project trying to get better at one little thing, and actually saying that and writing it down, right? That's huge, right? Because if that's the case, everything you do, you're getting better at, right? You're not just going into a project and just saying, okay, it's a paid project, cool, let's get this done, right? There needs to be more, because you always have to be progressing. You have to be aware that you always have to be progressing in what you're doing, because the field is changing so fast, and you have to be always changing with the field. So with this, I've been working 3 years on a game called Beyond Our Stars with a really awesome team, and it's beyondourstars.com. We're working great on a team, and that's another thing, working with teams. You have to be okay with change and not getting your way all the time. If you really want the team to thrive and to work well together, you can't go in thinking that your ideas are always right, or you can't be the smartest person in the room, because there could be better ideas, and there mostly always are better ideas, or it's a combination of ideas that are gonna lead the way and make it something that's really special, right? Because there's so many different viewpoints and experiences that teams bring. So it's just about working as a team as well. With how technology's going and projects are going, one person can't really do it all anymore. You need so many different aspects of technology and art and design to make something now. And it's exciting. It's really exciting. So advice for young people, I would say never stop. Right. One thing that's heartbreaking for me, and Philman, you might see this too, like when you go to a friend's Facebook and you're like, man, I want to see what this person's working on, and their website no longer works, right? It breaks my heart. And I get that they just, something just happened in their life where they couldn't keep going. And that doesn't mean that they're going to come back to it. But if you really want this, you really want to be in the art and design field, and if you're serving, if you're doing something that has nothing to do with where you're at, that doesn't mean you're not going to get there, right? It doesn't mean you're going to get that break. But that break doesn't magically happen, right? You have to put yourself in the situation to get that break, right? You can't just stop getting better at what you're doing. You have to constantly be learning, and it's going to be hard, right? It's going to be really hard. You know, when I got out of school, I was a server, and then I transitioned into teaching at a local technical college, and then I transitioned teaching back at CCAD. Then I got a bunch of really cool freelance jobs, working on, you know, Ninja Turtle IP, Legend of Korra IP, you know, VR games. It was really exciting, but it was because I kept working at my craft, even though I wasn't directly in the field. Do not be the cocky person that thinks you don't need anybody, because that's not true. Because eventually you will need people, especially if you have that attitude, because people will not want to work with you, right? I mean, people want to make good things, but they want to make good things on a good team. And also, an important thing that I've realized that you always hear about in school, when you're younger, is about who you know. And 100%, it's literally who you know, how many people you know, but not only that, who you are, right? And your reputation in the field. So, you know, I've actually never applied for a job in my career, which is nice, but if I ever have to, it's going to be difficult, right? So all my jobs have been referred to by people I know. I have to interview for jobs, obviously, but once I'm in the interview, it usually works out pretty well. So all my jobs have been from friends that I've met in school, college, and high school. So my recent job has been because I helped one of my high school friends get a job, and then he helped me get a job there as well. So it's honestly, you build this web of people, and the people are what matters. When you're on the team and when you need to get a job, it's all about the people. So, you know, just be a good person. Honestly, that's as silly as that sounds. It goes a long way.
I really hope you're getting a sense of how many talented people we have here in the city. We got 3D artists, we have game developers, we have technologists. I mean, you probably already knew this, but it helps to connect the dots, right? The more you know about your city, the more effectively you can collaborate. And see, somebody's trying to collaborate right now. The more effectively you can collaborate, right? The goal is by the end of 2019, we have so many people on the map connected that we can all start doing a lot more collaborative work together and continue to make the city a beautiful, diverse, and very smart place to live, work, and play. All right, cheers. Till next time.